Hey everyone, so today I'm gonna be doing a really boring video for you guys. Boring because it's fucking boring. Today I'm gonna be talking about how you buy a house. Now, schools fail to teach us like the most important fucking things in the world, i.e. buying a house and being a general adult. PSHE, what a load of shit. Like, that literally, it was just about sex and drugs, when most of us were probably A, already high, or B, already lost our virginity. So that's a discussion for another day, the educational system. Anyway, today I'm gonna be telling you how to buy a house. I had no idea how to buy a house, but now I have bought a house. This is my new fucking studio/office, which I'm so excited about. This is the first time I'm filming in it. It's actually a really large room. The other side of this shelf is a lot of space to film in. So that's why it's really echoey. So, right, I got my book from Foster's, my solicitor, and I got a folder here from stuff that I've salvaged from the house move. Oh, that's my wedding folder. Oops. First things first, if you haven't won the lottery or inherited a shit ton of money, or you're just not incredibly rich, you're most likely gonna have to get a mortgage to buy a house. What you have to do, this is what I did, right? So, I went to the bank, me and Matthew went to the bank. We went there with an idea of how much money that we'd earned. You can go to the bank or like a mortgage person with your earnings and how much you've earned or how much you're earning, and they will give you an idea of how much money you can borrow. It's got a special name, it's like mortgage in, oh my god, I'm so bad, mortgage in. Anyway, basically, so once you've got this letter saying how much money you can borrow from the bank, you can then go and look at houses. So what I did was, obviously I looked at the figure that they gave me, and then I started looking for fucking houses. So I knew how much money I could borrow, so I knew what kind of budget I was in. We did all the looking and stuff like that. We looked at quite a few houses, and then we found the one. I feel like I kind of rushed into it. In a way, like a few of my friends have like been looking at houses for ages. I looked at about 5 in the space of a week, and I found the one that I wanted. I don't regret it because I'm in it and I love it. But you know, you can take as long or as little time as you want to with it. I knew that this house would be the one for me, as it's got the most perfect space for us now, and it's got space for us to grow. It's got space for me to have babies if I want babies. Don't tell Matthew I said that. That was one of the things I was thinking about when I was looking around it. And then what you do is, obviously the estate agent or whoever know you can buy a house because you've got this letter that you got from the bank saying that you can borrow money. Once you've decided on the house you want, you then put in an offer. So you call up your estate agent and you say, hello, I would like to buy this house please. And they say, sure, how much money would you like to offer? And you can say, like my dad was like, offer them 20 grand less, offer them 20 grand less. I was like, Dad, I can't. Some people do that. So you can keep bartering with them. An estate agent will probably tell you that it's already had loads of offers to try and get the most money out of you. That's where I was a complete sucker. I was like, how about this much? And they were like, no. How about this much? No, but lots of people are putting in offers. So I was like, fine. So I gave them an offer, which they finally accepted. So be wary of that. Estate agents are out to get your money, so they will try and mind fuck you into thinking that you're not gonna get the house. It's like a bidding war pretty much. So I don't even know if anyone had put a bid in for this house. I don't even know if anyone had looked at it. But they like to make out that when you go and view it, that lots of people are going to view it, and B, that they've already had quite a lot of offers. So they will make you feel under pressure to make a move on the house. That's just what they fucking do, because they want your money. So after a lot of like going backwards and forwards, calling them up, waiting ages, sitting there twiddling my thumbs, waiting for, you know, a response, they then call you back and say if your offer's been accepted or if your offer hasn't been accepted. So once it's accepted, you're like, hooray, my offer has been accepted, now I need some money. So the next thing that I did was go to the mortgage lady. So I used a mortgage advisor called Serena at William H. Brown in Norwich. So what you have to then do is you go to Serena and you go, Serena, I need a mortgage. And Serena goes, okay, let's sort this out. So their job is to find you the best deal that there is out there, and plus they know loads about money and stuff. I could have just gone to my bank like I did previously and gone, now I want a mortgage, can you give it to me? However, it's really good to shop around because you can get a better deal. So I went to Serena. Now, I had a lot of trouble with my mortgage because I'm self-employed. Now, if you're self-employed, you need the minimum of 2 years books, i.e. 2 years of earnings stamped from HMRC saying this is how much money you made, blah, 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 blah. If you're employed, I think it's about, if you're like on a, like Matthew only need like 3 months worth of pay slips. If you're on a 0-hour contract, you need a year's worth of pay slips. And I think again, if you're like part-time, you basically need to prove how much money you earn, and depending on your circumstance, you will require to give a certain evidence. So I needed 2 years. Now, my timing with buying my house wasn't at the best time. So I applied for my mortgage literally the end of the tax year. So when I just got my 2 years. Now, it was a bit of a juggle, but we had to basically get the official figures from my earnings from my accountant to the mortgage lender to say that is definitely how much money she's earned. But because I did it so close to the end of the tax year, like literally there was a bit of a delay, there was a little bit of stress and a bit of aggro around that. What I also learned was if you're self-employed, they don't go by when like offering you money. They don't go by how much you've earned, but actually your profit. So what that means is I could have said, oh, I earned £20,000 this year, but I paid £4,000 tax. What they would say is actually you earned £16,000, therefore your mortgage lending would be based on that figure rather than your total amount of earnings. That's why when you're employed by someone, so you're not self-employed, the number on your pay slip is actually how much you earned because they already have deducted your national insurance and your tax money. Eventually, I got a mortgage. I had another issue with my credit rating, so I had like a blip on my credit score, which was basically an unpaid Vodafone payment for about 5 years ago. But when I called up Vodafone to pay it and for them to clear my credit score, they couldn't find the debt, therefore they couldn't clear my credit score. So that was really, really annoying because I was like, well, how am I gonna, like, do I owe you this money or not? How am I supposed to pay this? But it got sorted eventually, but that was a massive shitter. So you also need a relatively good credit score because they're gonna be lending you a vast amount of money. Whilst that was all happening, okay, I then had to do a bunch of signing of forms. So the mortgage actually took quite a while to sort out, but everyone was aware that it was happening, so things still moved ahead. So you get various letters sent through to you. They send you guide to buying and selling. They go through the costs of everything because you're gonna have a lot of costs when it comes to buying a house, which I'll go through in a second. So they go through all the legal shit and you get like a pamphlet like this, and it basically tells you like the implications of buying a house, what it all means, what all the different laws are and everything like that, and then you sign that and you send it back to say that you've read it. You also then need to decide whether you want to go in on the mortgage and the house buying together, or if you want like a joint tenancy or a declaration of trust, blah, 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 blah. Right, so we did a declaration of trust. So what that means is if anything bad was to happen between me and Matthew, when we sell the house, whatever money that we both put into it is ours rather than splitting it down the middle. So I put more money in on this house than Matthew, therefore if we ever sell this house due to any bad reason, or we split up or whatever, one of us, I don't know, I will get whatever I put back into the house plus half of the equity or the profit, and Matthew will get back whatever he put in plus his half. So a few people I've known have like put in their inheritance from a family member in on a house, they've split with their partner and they've literally had to like half that. Like someone I know got £30,000, they put it down on a deposit on their house, but because they didn't do a declaration of trust, they only got 15,000 back, and their partner just walked away with £15,000 just for nothing. Bear that sort of shit in mind. And then you have to do searches and like reports on the house. Now your solicitor will sort this out. Normally, I mean, I use the solicitor that William H. Brown used. You can source your own solicitor, whatever. I just made my life easier by doing what they told me. You can decide if you want to get them to do the search on the house for you, or you can use your mortgage people, which is free. So I was like, I ain't gonna pay you all this money to do a search on the house, which I'm gonna get free anyway. The mortgage one isn't as like thorough, but I'd recommend having a search on a house that you pay for if your house is a little bit dodgy or really old. So you have to do various reports. They give you reports on like local amenities, like the structure, whether they're going to be building anything in the area soon, local schools, local churches, like what the earth is made of, where the water supply comes from, the electricity. They basically a really detailed report on your house and the area, and once you've looked through all that and everything, even the inventory on the house, what they're leaving, what they're staying, if there's any problems with the house, etc., you sign that off, and then voila. This is actually my report here, so it's literally got any information on planning permission, any extensions that have been put on the house. She's like an aerial photograph of the area, everything. All you can do is really wait. So then once all the paperwork is signed regarding the house and your mortgage offer is accepted, you now need to go pay the deposit. So once the reports had been done, or the paperwork had been done, everything regarding the house that we had to sign, they normally like tell you where to sign, so you just fucking sign it. So they just send you all this paperwork through, you sign where you need to sign, send it back. Jobs are good. And if you don't have any, if you're a bit confused as to what like documents for what, just read them up and go, I don't know what this means, and they will help you. So then they say you need to pay your deposit. So what you do is then once you've paid, so you do a bank transfer, you pay a deposit to your solicitor. Then once that's done, they can then sort out the exchange and the contract. So once they've got your money, they will ring you up and do a verbal thing of, do you want to exchange or go ahead or whatever it was, and I'll go yes. Now once I've confirmed that, they then sort out the rest of the shit. So about 5 days later, 5 working days later, they then will be your move-in date, which basically means the mortgage company sends across the money to the vendor or the seller, and then the contract is legally exchanged or whatever, or you legally like own the house, and then you can go in and pick up your keys. So that was it in a nutshell, I suppose. It sounds like, oh, well and good, you know, get a mortgage, look at a house, get some forms, sign it. It is a little bit more stressful than that, because there's a lot of stuff to read, there's a lot of stuff to check, there's a lot of stuff to like talk about with your partner. It's kind of fucking scary. Some of the costs that you will incur. Buying a house is really expensive because, like, you know, like weddings, if you buy something for a wedding, it's like 10 times more expensive if you buy it for something that's not a wedding. That's what buying a house is like. You have your purchase price, your land registry fee, stamp duty, search pack, which is where they search, ID validation, land registry search fee, bankruptcy search fee, foster's solicitor's fee, acting for lender fee, land transaction return fee, administering electronic payments. Basically that means like sending money. I paid £48 just so they could send my money from one person to another. Administering electronic payments for stamp duty, again, same thing. They charged me for sending my money to the land registry or the stamp duty people. Title information document, declaration of trust. I had to pay £234 to protect my own money. Ridiculous. So it's really fucking expensive. But what I didn't realise, so I was like, oh my God, that's like, how much was that? That's like a few £1,000s for all of that. They take it out of your mortgage. So you don't actually have to give all these thousands of pounds of money for all those fees. They take out your mortgage cost, which is great because you kind of forget about it. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's how you buy a house. Yeah, it's stressful, moving is stressful, but it's totally worth it. Like, I own a house. Like, this is my house. It's an investment. I was really scared about doing the deposit thing because I was like, there's a lot of money that's just disappearing, but someone said it's just like moving it from one bank account to another. My house is essentially a bank account. But so yeah, I'm gonna be doing a house tour of it now. I'm gonna be decorating it over the next few months. It's gonna be great. I explained as well as I could that I could remember on what happened. So if that was interesting, hope that was interesting. Hope that was like, you know, all right. See you later. Goodbye.